Let me take a sip of the Rockstar, right? And we are live. So hopefully today's show will sound better than last show because I had to do some changes on Twitch to get Twitch sounding right? And so on today's show, we're gonna do some current news first before we dive into this show. It is Wednesday, September 3rd, around 6 o'clock. We are an hour early, actually. And as you can see, I'm wearing a button up, not because I dress like this all the time. Just got off work, changed up my schedule a little bit to see how things go. So I'm gonna head to the gym after the show, not before the show. And so we're powered right now by a Rockstar, zero sugar. They're not paying me. I don't know why I did that. They should be. I don't actually drink these a lot, so don't get on me like, you shouldn't be drinking Rockstars. I know. But let's pull up the show notes, right? And today's show, I'm going to start off a little different while everybody falls in here, right? Start off with a little bit of current news, right? A little current news, right? So what do I want to talk about today? Some current news, right? So welcome to today's top report, right? I'm going to talk about what really matters in today's top report. Not something too serious. We're going to start off the show light. I don't want to bore you guys with stuff that's not that serious. Like I said, I just got off work. You're probably just getting off work. So we got TikTok, Twitch, and then we got Instagram, right? So I want to give y'all the basic what's going on. Y'all get off, right? So first up, let's do some diplomacy and defense, right? Let's do some diplomacy and defense. Your guys' favorite, right? Uncle Donnie T, right? Let's talk about your Uncle Donnie T here, right? So in Washington, D.C., Donald Trump met with Poland's president, Karol Nawacki. I don't know how to say his last name, Nawacki or something like that, right? So he reaffirmed that U.S. military committed to NATO's eastern flank. No withdrawals are planned, and troop levels have increased amid ongoing Russian and Ukraine tensions, right? I thought they were supposed to clear this up, but I guess they didn't clear this up. But anyway, Trump warned President Putin, thought they were cool, but him and President Putin ain't. That is, you'll see things happen if the U.S. remains unhappy with the peace progress, right? Peace process. Meanwhile, the Ukraine president is in Paris in the Coalition of Willing Summit, right? Supporting European support for Putin is in China right now, which is kind of weird if you ask me, right? Because Putin is in China right now, right? And guess what's going on in China, guys? In China right now, they're having the 80th anniversary of the end of World War II with a massive military parade. Over 12,000 troops have marched down Chang's Avenue, and President Xing's premium, like Xing's expected them, right? Impressive daily force of national pride. So while China's showing national pride, guess who's there chilling? President Putin, right? And so guess what Trump is telling Putin? Bro, listen, we're not playing. So he's chilling with Poland's president. So right now, that's kind of interesting stuff right now. If you really pay attention to it, this part of the show is basically global affairs. I like to keep people up on global affairs. NATO is on the eastern flank over there. Are we going to go to war anytime soon? No, but the Russia and Ukraine tension is still kind of high. I think we got to watch out for that, right? If you're a person like me, I don't try to watch the news too much, but it is kind of important. So you might want to watch out for that, right, guys? So we're going to keep moving on to financial markets and economy. How many people care about your money? You should really care about your money. That should be something you should be cared about, right? Because what happens over there affects our money, right? So the U.S. 30-year Treasury bond yields have spiked by 5%, the highest since July, right? Signaling a growth of debt concerns and possible debt ceiling strife. Similar pressure has rippled through Japan, German, French, and UK bond markets, right? Europe is poised over 100 million in new issuance. That's kind of interesting. That actually, when I read that, that's kind of interesting, right? Equity markets are jittery when the SP 500 dropped about 0.7% through future later bounce backs and a standout. Google stock soared about 6%. Now, here's the thing. Google stock soaring about 6%. I think they had a favorable ruling in an antitrust suit they had, so I think that's why it kind of shot up 6%. No doubt that's kind of about what happened. I could see that happening. That works. I had some Google stock, but I sold it. I don't know why I sold the Google stock. Call me stupid. It is what it is. It's gonna be what it's gonna be. Can't cry about spilt milk. I sold the Google stock. You should get it back. Google stock is up by like 6%. And that's not that much, but 6% is good for that after that favorable antitrust ruling. So if you do have some Google stock, go get it back. If you don't, hey, it is what it is, right? Let's keep going. In other corporate news, Kraft Heinz announced a split into two separate companies. Kraft and Heinz is splitting. That's kind of crazy. So Kraft and Heinz is splitting. Now, are you a Kraft person or are you a Heinz person? Does it really matter? But both companies are splitting, right? Elliott Management committed $4 billion to PepsiCo, which is interesting, guys. So Elliott Management committed $4 billion to PepsiCo. I wonder why. Does PepsiCo really need $4 billion? Who knows? It's a lot of money. Macy's jumped nearly 13% after beating earnings for forecasting and raising its outlook. Macy's is up 13%. That's crazy. When's the last time somebody shopped at Macy's? I don't know the last time I shopped at Macy's to go up 13%. Matter of fact, weren't Macy's just closing? I don't know. Y'all tell me what y'all doing. Meta continues its AI hiring spree by bringing on Ching Zhang, formerly Apple's lead AI robotics guy. Now, here's the thing with Meta, guys. I'm going to tell you right now, if you don't got no Meta stock, go pick you up some Meta stock. They're releasing these new glasses. What are those glasses? Oh, my God. They're like a computer glasses. They're real nice. The Orions, the Meta Orions. They're like a laptop glasses. So they're pretty much, right? The Taiwan Semiconductor, which is TSMC, saw its autonomous export privileges to China revoked. Samsung and SK Hynix are likewise affected, reflecting intensifying tensions for techs, right? So Samsung is having some problems in China, right? It's kind of crazy. But in the tech world, that's pretty much it. It's kind of simple. Not too much going on, but I would say, guys, keep an eye on Meta. If you have a Meta stock, I would double down on Meta stock because they're going to release that Orion glasses. It's not the Meta Ray-Bans. So if you have the Meta Ray-Bans, those are just, you can stream, I think, on Instagram and Facebook. But the Orion glasses, guys, these will be able to like computers, right? So you want to check those out, right? And we're going to keep it moving, right? Domestically. Yeah, so if you've seen on TikTok or you've seen on Instagram, they're talking about how like President Trump hasn't been seen in a couple of days. He's not doing good. Well, President Trump strikes back about speculation about his health, dismissing allegations and fast fake news. He cited an active Labor Day weekend filled with interviews and golf with President J.D. Vance and affirming Trump's well-being. Now, if it's me, am I the only one who doesn't see J.D. Vance a lot or I don't watch enough TV? Is it just me? Maybe I don't watch enough TV. Maybe I should watch more TV, but I don't see the Vice President J.D. Vance a lot. But that could just be me, you know? That could just be me. Okay, the administration grabbed headlines with several major developments. A federal court ruled that the National Guard deployment to Los Angeles during immigration protests was illegal. You think? Now, let me ask you guys a question. A federal court ruled that the National Guard deployment to Los Angeles during the immigration protests was illegal. How many of you guys already knew that? Like, it didn't take a rocket science for that. So a federal court ruled that, right? So, bam. Also, U.S. immigration agents gained access to spyware from Paragon Solutions capable of hacking mobile phones. Hold on, guys. Listen to me. U.S. immigration agents gained access to spyware from Paragon Solutions capable of hacking mobile phones. What do you think that means? What do you think that means? They're going to the next step with this. So if you, because you notice how they give out the free Obama phones to anybody as long as you have Medi-Cal, Medicaid. You know how they know everyone has a phone, everyone's on social media. Now U.S. immigration agents can hack your mobile phone through Paragon Solutions. They have spyware. Think about that, right? Bam. The House Oversight Committee released 33,000. Come on, bro. I can't even finish this line. The House Oversight Committee released 33,000 pages pertaining to the Jeffrey Epstein case. Listen to me again. The House Oversight Committee released 33,000 pages pertaining to the Jeffrey Epstein case. Why all of a sudden are they releasing these cases, right? Kind of interesting, right? Trump reversed course and relocated the U.S. Space Command headquarters from Colorado to Alabama. Why? I don't understand that. Why you reversed the course of that? That makes no sense. But hey, to each their own, right? Justice Army Corey Bannon defended the U.S. Okay, hold on. Justice Amy Coney Barnett defended the Supreme Court's abortion ruling in her memoir. Okay, cool. That's dope. Here's it. This is how I feel, right? I'm pro-choice. You, I feel like you can do whatever you want with your body. It's your choice. You don't have to write a memoir about that. Like, she's a Supreme Court judge. Okay, cool. Like, you want to do that? Do what you do. Who cares, right? Oh, a ruling allows FTC Commission's Rebecca Slaughter to stay in office. That's interesting. A ruling allows FTC Commissioner Rebecca Slaughter to stay in office. How do y'all feel about that? Talk to me about that one. Also, investor Ray Delialo criticized growing inequity under current administration policies. Inequality and inequity under the current. I don't know, bro. That one I'm gonna have to. I don't know. I'm gonna have to ponder on that one. We'll get back to that one. I really can't tell y'all how I personally feel about that one. I had to dig some more. You know, that's how. So in the news for today, pretty much saying that the bonds went up by 5% again. Google stocks up by 6%. President Trump's going around the world telling Putin to mind his business and stay sharp, and that they're not listening to NATO, which I understand. I agree. I did have a interesting note, right, that I want to talk about real quick before we jump into the show, right? And this first part of the show was something that I didn't understand. I kind of understood, but I was I had to dig deep into the numbers, right? And to any gentleman out there, I have a question, right? I have a question. How do men feel about college right now? Like, how do men feel about college? Like, is any man like really into college? Like, do dudes feel like college is still an investment, or college can get them like a high level job? Like, do men still want to go to college? The reason why I asked that question is because I was looking at some stats, right? And it says overall, every race group, women are outpacing men for college, right? So my question I ask now is to anyone, right? Is college still a good path for a career or to get ahead in life, right? Because it says women outpace men in college completion in every major racial group by 40% from ages 25 to 34, right? Versus 37% of men hold bachelor's plus overall. So pretty much there are more women who value getting an education and going into a professional field than there are men, right? And I'm going to break it down by degree level, right? Because it was saying like, okay, hold on. Okay. I'm black, so I'm going to just do black. But I'm going to just do over. Should I do over? I'm black, so I'm going to do black. Hold on. I'm going to do black. I'm black, so we're going to do black, right? In 2022 to 2023, degrees awarded to black students by level and sex, right? So in 2022 to 2023, right, associate's degrees, right? For women, 78,000 women got associate's degrees in 2022 to 2023. Only 34,000 men got associate's degrees. Okay, right? Bachelor degrees. 120,000 women got bachelor degrees. Only 65,000 men got a bachelor's degree. That's very low. That's a low number, right? Now, when it came to masters, 63,000 women got a master's degree. Only 26,000 men got a master's degree. That is crazy. Now, when it came to doctorals, 12,000 women got doctoral degrees. Only 5,000 men got doctoral degrees. That is crazy work. Those are crazy numbers right now. Is this saying that more men are leaning towards entrepreneurship, or is this saying more men are just saying, hey, I don't want to go to school, I'm going to do blue collar work? That's the biggest question, right? And so when I was looking at this study, it was because it was a study like off of different sources, right? I was asking myself, like, are men, and they did a bigger number. So the total 4-year or higher overall, 2 million black women have it, only 1.9 black men have it. Bachelor's degree only, 1.8 million, 1.3 million. Master's degree holders, 600,000, only 400,000. Professional degrees, which are like lawyer, medical, stuff like that, 60,000 for women, 88,000 for men. Now, that number was crazy. That was a crazy number when high flip-flops, right? Doctorates, of course, went for 65,000 for women, and the rest was like for men. It was a low number. So overall, total 38% women had degrees compared to 26% men. Why is that? Like that's a good question. Why is that? Do women value education more than men, or men just say, you know what, I'd rather become an entrepreneur, I'd rather start a business, I'd rather do construction, I'd rather do this? Do men find it easier to just do manual labor and learn like that on the job than the women who appreciate education? Because if you look at the numbers right here, right, it's saying basically, let me see. It shows clearly that women, and this is in the black community, but it says overall in any race category, black women outnumber black men significantly in college attainment. Young adult attainment rates suggest that gap continues between newer cohorts and 12% points more towards black women, right? Why is that? Now, is that more like they're more detailed, they're more oriented, or they have to be more strong, more independent, right? I'm not sure, right? But what I'm seeing is, and the reason why I came to this, I want to look at these numbers because I seen the school is starting right now, right? College. And all the new chapters like the BSUs, the Glee Club, the law clubs, I'm seeing them post their pictures and all the boards were women. I'm like, I haven't seen a board with men in it. Like I seen the fraternities, them starting, but a lot of the classes, a lot of boards were like full of women. I was like, do dudes even like want to go to school right now? Are they graduating? Like, do they even value college right now? So that was a big question for me. So I wanted to see where we stood with that, right? And so that's when I started looking at that. And so I think it was a previous podcast where I talked about this, is it's seeming that like more women are trying to get to upper management. It says black women receive 64.1% of bachelor's degrees, 71.5% of master degrees, and 65.9% of doctoral, medical, and dental degrees. That is a big number. Shout out to the black women. Hey, listen, I'm not hating. I'm not hating by far. I'm going to keep it 100. I am not hating. Shout out to y'all. But I want to say them numbers back one more time. Black women receive 64.1% of bachelor degrees, 71.5% of master degrees, and 65.9% of doctoral, medical, and dental degrees. Listen, that is a great number. I'm all for it, 100%, right? I'm just trying to figure out why. Like, why has the whole notion of saying, hey, look, I'm going to go to college, I'm going to be a lawyer, a doctor, a dentist, a pediatrician, a podometrist, whatever the case may be, a chiropractor, have black men just giving up and say, you know what? I'm gonna go do contract for about 5-10 years. I'm gonna do construction for 5-10 years, work my way up to a project manager, do that. Where are we at with that? Like, help me out with that, Twitch. What we on with that, Twitch? Like, because I'm curious, because when I'm looking at these numbers, I'm just looking at these numbers. And it's like, wow, okay, what are we doing? Like, it's crazy because if these numbers match, let's say these numbers match, will we have a stronger infrastructure in the economic world? And there's really no political science people here. I just see mostly, I see doctoral, medical, and dental. I didn't see no real lawyer stuff like that. So I'm curious with that. Like, I'm kind of curious. So I want to look at one more number. Hold on, guys. Hold on. So, yeah. That was crazy. It said, yeah. That's what I thought. Yeah. So, yeah, I want to read this one number. It says black women with a 4-year degree or higher, approximately 2.6 million, right? Black men with a 4-year degree or higher was 1.9 million. Now, that's not too big of a gap, but I'm just curious, like what's the big difference? Like, why do black women value education more than black men? Somebody help me understand why I hit this rock star. I don't know. But as the show keeps going, right? As we keep the show going like we always do, I would like to always thank everyone who tunes in, right? Because today's going to be a great show. Today's going to be a great show. We're going to talk about this, right? So what I do want to talk about is something I seen today on, was it Instagram? I don't know if it's Instagram, TikTok, one of the things I be jumping on, right? So we know that some of the federally funded programs are going to be cut or trying to be cut, right? your president, our president, no matter how you want, if you like him or not, he's our president, regardless if you like it or not, he's our president, whether you like it or not, right? So how do you guys feel about him trying to federally cut Section 8? Like Section 8. I'm pretty sure we all grew up on Section 8. I grew up on Section 8. Not Section 8 housing, like the actual Section 8 voucher where you can go to an apartment or a house and you get it at a certain rate, discounted based on your income, right? What he wants to do is cut that to where it's either, I think, to 2 years, and then you have to get off only if you have like kids with disability and your kids can't go to school. If your kids can go to school, you have to work, and you're going to be on it for 2 years. How do y'all feel about that? Because there were a lot of ladies, and I know it's clickbait, I know it's rage bait. A lot of ladies say, oh, this ain't right. I have to actually go work now. Is that a good response? Is that a fair response? Or are we looking at people being just lazy and don't want to work? Because when you really look at it in its totality, right? The original purpose of Section 8 housing and housing projects was to actually help Black people buy homes. So if you go back to the 60s it was, these programs were actually created to help Black people buy homes before redlining or doing the redlining and all that, right? So it was set up for you to actually pay a lower rent so you could save money and eventually buy a home, right, in a certain area. But then we all know what happened. Crack epidemic, life happens, poverty-stricken things where people got comfortable with Section 8 housing. So, like I said, I'm not advocating for none of what he's doing. I'm not saying he's right what doing. I'm just asking you guys, hey, how do y'all feel about this? Because this one lady was very like her life was about to end. Like, I'm going to have to work now. I'm going to have to go do this. And I'm sitting there like, well, yeah, you might have to work, but what's wrong with working? Like, don't get me wrong. I think I speak for everybody in here, right? If you can work and get Section 8, you probably would, right? You probably would. It would be no big deal if you had to work and get Section 8. I just think that a lot of people are just sitting here waiting on like this to happen. I think a lot of people are just waiting on it like, hey, I need this is gonna happen. And I'm not too sure like that's the way to go. I think it's more so, hey, look, it's different. I think people would prefer some kind of warning or some fair warning or something just like waiting that. On it like, hey, I need this is gonna happen. Hold on, that's the wrong thing. See Twitch. See how that happens? I be messing up. I'm not perfect. I be messing up, y'all. Y'all gotta forgive me. But anyway, right? So how do y'all feel about that? Him cutting these federally funded programs, right? Him cutting those federally funded programs for certain people, right? And I think that as we look at certain stuff like that, we have to understand that, is it to help or is it hinder or is it affecting the national budget? Because they say, oh, we got this debt, we got this debt, we got that debt. And me personally, I'm not a big political person. I'm not going to sit there like, oh, watch this, and that. I don't have time. I ain't going to lie. I don't have the mental capacity to deal with politics. I'm not that smart. Like some people, like when I get talk to my older friends and they talk all this stuff, I'd be sitting there like, bro, I don't care too much about politics. They all lie. To me, they all lie. Every politician to me lies, right? And every program they say they cutting or they doing it for this, it's to benefit themselves, right? But how do you guys feel about this? Should they cut Section 8? Should they keep Section 8? Should they put more parameters on it? Should they monitor it heavy? Should they have an oversight committee for Section 8? Or should they leave it to the state? Because see, what they want to do is cut it federally and then leave it to the state locally. And so they say, you know what? You have this much funding. You deal with it how you deal with it. But people don't get that eternal Section 8 to where they're just having kids and they don't do nothing. They don't work. They actually want people to work. So what would y'all think is fair? Like, what do y'all think is fair? Like, I'm not here to judge. I'm just kind of curious what is fair. Like some people say they shouldn't have to work. They just want to pay $25 or they want to live here and not have to do nothing. What do y'all think is fair? In the chat. Like, for me, if someone who really needs it, like, because if you live in California, New York, Florida, certain spots, it costs so much to live, you damn near need that. So I understand that if you live in one of them areas where it's super expensive, you need that extra help, right? Even if you're working 2 jobs sometimes and you got just 1 kid, it's hard to make that money. So I understand that, like that help would actually be beneficial. But there are people who are exploiting the system. And I think that they should be able to kind of filter those out and say, hold up, We can see your bank account. We can see your statements. We can see the way you're living, your cost of living, that you actually exploiting the system. We're going to pull this from you, or we're going to just make sure like it's 50-50. Like Section 8 becomes like a roommate. They'll pay half of the rent and you pay the other half, and they slowly wean you off so you can be on your own. Or they create programs where you can start buying a house and they give you a low mortgage or something like that. Something to really help people become families and get into homes, because bro, they got so many new homes they putting up. They can really put people in homes, because if Section 8 can help you rent a home, Section 8 should be able to help you buy a home, because they have these programs that they have in every state. Every state has this program, guys. Listen to me. Every state has a program where they'll help you pay your down payment and closing costs, and where you put to 1% to 3.5% on the FHA loan. Every state has it. You just got to look it up. They should make those programs available for anyone on Section 8. And what they should do is they make you take a credit class, a home owner class, and take you through this whole process, right? They help you with your credit. They teach you as a homeowner. They teach you all the steps. I think that's what they should do for people on Section 8. Like, hold up, you got this. And then even maybe there's a little bit of career building so they can get a better job, and take them through the steps, make them more responsible, actually make them able to afford a home, whatever state they're in. Because if you live in California, if you're not making six figures, you're not going to be able to own a home, point blank, period. I know some people with a $4,500 mortgage, a $5,500 mortgage. You're not going to make that working at Taco Bell. It's not going to happen. You're going to need about 10 people living in that house. So I think if they really want people to be successful and come up off of Section 8, how about you give them the tools to utilize that and actually do it? Because you just can't say, you know what, you've been on Section 8 for 30 years, get off because we need to put someone else on. It's just not going to work. So if you want people to get off Section 8, instead of just cutting the programs, give them things so they can do it. Because I'm pretty sure if you give someone a good job and say, look, you're making $35 an hour now, we'll help you purchase this home with no cost down, no on the closing, and we'll help this much, right? And wean them off slowly. I'm pretty sure a lot of people will take advantage of that program. So I'm pretty sure a lot of people want to be homeowners. I'm pretty sure most people are tired of paying rent for the rest of their life. They never get no equity in an apartment. There's no equity in an apartment. You're going to pay for the rest of your life for nothing. You're not going to own the apartment. You can't resell the apartment. You can't renovate the apartment. You can't even make a loan on the apartment. Most people want homes. Most people would like a place they can have their grandkids come, they can leave to their kids. Nobody wants to rent an apartment. No one wants to be on Section 8 for an apartment for the rest of their life. Most people do want a home, but most people can't afford a home, especially like if you live in places like Orange County, Miami, like certain places where you just happen to live, you can't afford that home. So you want to be in a spot, you want to be in a place called home. You want to say, hey, you know what, bro, this is where I'm at. I want to have friends over. I want to have a pool party. I want my kid's birthday party to be here. You want those everlasting memories. You just can't afford it. And it's not because you're broke. You just live in a place that costs too damn much. Bro, listen, the worst feeling in the world is actually making $70,000 to $80,000 a year, still living check to check. Because some people do that. You'd be surprised. There's some people out there making good money living check to check because where they live at it, the cost of living is so damn high. Bro, here's the thing, bro. You got people out there like, damn, man, I make enough money. Why I can't? Bro, it's people making like $80,000 a year, right? Looking at poor people that's making it like, damn. You ever listen? No, this is real. You ever been making good money and you see broke people living better than you? Like you really see broke people living better than you. You see them on Instagram like, damn, you know they ain't got no job, but they on trips. They going out to eat good. You be like, damn, how they living like that? You know they ain't got no job. That's because when you make more money, you tend to start buying things you ain't supposed to. See, that's what Melissa said. Even in California, listen, talking about Californians, and I'm going to keep 100 with you. In California, this is why I say this to the ladies. In California, it has to be 50-50. You have to make, both of y'all got to make at least 80K to make that 160K. Because in California, you need 100K. You need 100K. You actually need 120. In California, you got to make 120K a year. You know why? Because you need 10 grand a month. You need 10 grand a month in Cali. Why? Because most likely your mortgage is going to be $4,500. How much that leave you? $5,500 just for everything else. So in Cali, you need to make at least 120. New York, man, you want to live in Manhattan somewhere nice, uptown, whatever. Bro, you're going to need the same amount. Miami, you might need more than that. Miami's crazy. Listen, I'm going to tell y'all a story. So at one of my high peaks, right? I was making like maybe close to like maybe $8,000 a month, 7.5 a month. And I was feeling myself, right? I'm talking about like, man, I had a downtown loft in St. Louis, right? And so my job was like, look, we're finna open up in another office in Miami, like somewhere in Florida. I forgot what they said in Florida. They're like, if you want to go down there, you can. I'm like, what? Bro, I'm single, look good, skin glowing, dreads long. What? Nigga, picture me in Miami? Guys, can you picture me? Can you picture the podcast in Miami? Come on, guys. Could you picture the podcast in Miami? Bro, life would be different for me. So I'm like, man, look, I'm going to look at an apartment in Miami. Bro, you know my little heart sank? Yeah. You know my little heart sank? Bro, just for a basic apartment was like $3,300 a month for a 1-bedroom apartment in Miami. But my little heart sank. I thought I was balling. I thought I had a little knot. Yeah, Miami checked me real fast. My dreams in Miami went that way. So I know that if you really need a certain amount. Oh, my alarm went out. It's 6:30. We early. So I understand why people are nervous right now that they're trying to cut Section 8. So I get that. I'm not looking down on nobody because I know times are hard, especially like I said, if you're in California. And a lot of people don't understand that, bro. Imagine a single mother of two, just two. Imagine a single mother of two living in California that needs Section 8 and they talk about cutting that. That's messed up for her. Because even like this, think about this. Let's say a single mother of two making $80,000 a year. Bro, she's struggling. She's struggling, bro. With an apartment, bro, because you don't want to live in the hood. See, I can live in the hood. I'm good. But a single mother of two can't live in the hood because you know what she got to worry about? She got to worry about is it a good school? If she ain't home, is her kids okay? When she park her car, it's going to get broken into. When she's there, she's safe. So she got to live in a semi-decent neighborhood. She only need, a 2-bedroom apartment, maybe a 3. That's going to run her about $3,500 for an apartment, maybe $4,500, which is a mortgage. A lot of people paying rent that could be a mortgage. Why? Because they can't save up the down, which they want 10% down, or they want a cash reserve. See, when they go get a house, they want you to have 6 months cash reserve of the mortgage. Then they want 3.5% down or the 1% down, depending if you get a program, right? Then you got to get the house insurance. Then you got to do all this other stuff. Most people just don't have that. So it's easier to say, I just need a first month, last month, and a deposit. It's so easy to get an apartment. That's why they make it so easy to get an apartment. They make it hard to get a house. But a lot of us don't even have the family unit to say, hey, if all 4 of us, family members, brother, mom, and sister, go apply for this house and we all save $5,000, we can get this house. But the average, especially in a black family, we don't do that. See? And she has a good point right here. Melissa has a good point on Instagram. A single mother of 2 making too much doesn't qualify for assistance, but in the real world, so if you're a single mother of 2 making $80,000 a year, you don't qualify for assistance, but in the real world, you need assistance. A single mother of 2 making more than $80,000 a year, you still need assistance. Why? Because life be life, and they don't equate that. They see that you make more than enough. So I understand that. See, I'm gonna use you as an example. So let's say a single mother of 2 making $80K a year. She should at least apply for some type of assistance to get her a house if she wants a house, or something to help mitigate the cost of living when it comes to her home or an apartment. That's the least. Not nothing super bad, nothing that's super like tough. But let's say they gave her housing where she paid 70% of her rent. I think they should have programs like that based on her being a single mother, right, with 2 kids. Like they should do that. Even a single father, or even a couple that's struggling. Let's say you have a couple working at McDonald's and they got a kid that should qualify for, let's say they pay 65% of their rent or 85% of their rent. They should do that type of Section 8 program where they actually look at each situation, by that situation, say, hold up, let's look at your bank account. Let's look at your credit. Okay, this would help this person get out of debt or get this person into a home if we let them only pay 65 to 85% of their rent overall. If they really did that with that program, I think that program would be way better. Instead of just cutting and saying, you know what, we want to save billions, so we're just going to kill the Section 8 voucher program from a federal standpoint. I think that's real shitty. If you ask me, that's real shitty. If you ask me, that's real shitty. And the only reason I'm in a button up because I came right after work. So I explained at the beginning of the show. I'm not trying to look cool. I'm not trying to look professional. Just came after work. I'll be coming after work a lot, so you'll catch me unless it's a casual day. But if you think about it, right? And I don't know if you guys pay attention to this stuff on the internet. I do because professionally speaking, I deal with it every day. But I thought it'd be a good topic to talk about before we go to our next topic, right? And the next topic, the ladies might get mad at me a little bit. You know, I gotta always ruffle a few feathers, right? We have to ruffle a few feathers, right? And the next topic of the day is no money, no kids. Now, this might not apply to you, so if it don't apply, please let it fly. If it don't apply, please let it fly. But there are some gentlemen out here who are going through this very bad. And it's called no money, no kids. What that means is a lot of women, not all, I'm not saying no specific color, because I've seen it in all races, all colors, is when a woman and a man split and the woman has the kids, she leverages the kids as a retail product. Meaning if he doesn't make enough money, he doesn't have money, he doesn't get to see his kids. Meaning he's only worth what his dollar amount is. She goes, gets child support, which as a man, you should be, I don't applaud a man for taking care of his kids. You're supposed to do that. But a man, if he can only afford so much because of where he has in life, that's what he can afford. You can't force somebody to pay more than what he has. You can't dictate somebody to pay what you think he should be paying. So a lot of women think because they have a baby by a man and they see that man's life, that he's obligated to make her live that life. His obligation is to his kids. So a lot of women don't understand this, right? If you can't take care of your kids, let him go with the dad. Let him live with the dad if he can do that. Because a lot of these dudes I get can't. But what I was like in my situation, right? Like I'm be a little personal. In my situation, my kid's mom, right? She was complaining that she couldn't take care of 2 kids, yada yada. Cool. I understand that. I don't mind paying child support. What I told the judge was that, check this out. We have a son and we have a daughter. My son's older. He can come live with me, play football in Long Beach, great football programs. She can keep my daughter. We could swap. No, why would I give up my kids? You're not giving up your kids. You're just told the courts you can't take care of them. I'm telling you, I'll take care of my son and still pay child support for my daughter. Some women just want the money and the control factor of having kids. That's what it's about with some people. And some men are stuck with this because why? We make mistakes, so we go to jail, so they use that against you, or they do this to hurt you, or they trying to prove a point. Which I get it. It works temporarily. But they don't understand it harms the kids more than anything when you make them a chess piece or a pawn based off of money. Because here's the thing, and like you can't get mad. Like I never bash my kid's mom. I never say nothing bad about it to them. But when you realize that, hey, you want me to go work super hard, level myself up, go back to school, go work, do all this work in, right? Take care of my kids and pay for you to have a better life when you don't want to do that. It makes no sense, right? I understand this. I want the best for my kids, right? But you're telling me I can't teach them the real about money? Like, I don't think, listen, and there's some parents on here, I'm pretty sure, there's some parents on here that might not agree with me on this. Everybody, parents different. I don't believe in buying my kids Jordans, designer, or jewelry. I believe that gives a kid a false sense of money. It gives them a material way of looking at stuff. I feel kids, 1, should earn money. 2, kids should not have superficial things. Because as they get older, they start valuing things they think parents are only there to give. I respect the parents that say, hey, you know what? You don't need all that. So, but some women, not all, I'm not saying all, like to say, hey, you got it. Because a lot of times, and we all see this, don't act like we don't see this, a lot of women date these scammers, they date these dope dealers, these street niggas, and they get pregnant by them, and they expect regular men to fork out money like these dudes that don't even want to deal with kids. See, a lot of these dudes, I don't respect them because they rather fork out money than be there for their kids. And then realize money could never, ever replace time. I repeat this. Money could never, ever replace time with your kids. Them kids going to spend that money and go, but they going to remember times they had. I'm going to tell you right now. Your kid, because we all were kids one day, right? You can give a kid $100 on their 7th birthday. Give a kid $100 on their 7th birthday. They're not going to remember when they're 13, 14, 15. But if you teach a kid how to ride a bike on their 7th birthday, they're going to remember that. Because they'll say, who taught you how to ride a bike? My dad. Now, you give a kid $200 on their 10th birthday. They're not going to remember that. But you teach them how to swim on their 10th birthday, they're going to remember that. The time you spend with your kid is more valuable. And a lot of women don't understand is, if you really just let that man just spend time with them kids, even if you got to supervise them, even if you got to just bite that pride and say, you know what, I'm mad at how he treated me, but even though he ain't got no money, he ain't doing good. Because a lot of y'all know, come on, ladies, y'all hear me. I know y'all hear me. I know y'all watching. Y'all know y'all can take care of them kids without his money, because a lot of y'all be getting bullshit ass child support, $400 a month, $200 a month, and that shit don't even cover no bills. I have female friends. I'd be like, how much you get for child support? I get $250 a month. I'd be looking like, that don't even cover your nails or your hair or the kids' food. Bro, my son didn't live with me. He eats more than $250 a week. So there's no way that was going to cover child support. It really be just animosity and being petty. It's no way that's going to help you, no way, shape, or form. And most women don't understand. If you co-parent, bro, man, listen, I've never met a man who didn't mind taking care of his kids financially. But his kids, a lot of dudes just get upset because they see social media fucked it up, really, honestly. When you give a female child support or whatever, and you see her going trips to Hawaii and she out in Miami, that'll fucking nigga head up. I don't have that problem, but that'll fucking nigga head up, right? So the reason why I say that like that is just this. When we mature enough to co-parent, you don't care about none of that. When you can actually see, the beauty of it is when your kids become teenagers and they know how to use Cash App, Apple Pay, and you can give them straight to them. See, before then is the mom, you got to trust in the mom because y'all not cool. She doing what she doing. And you just niggas be mad like, oh, she using me. And then don't let him have a girlfriend that's in his ear. Oh, she just doing this because that's how she would do. So it becomes a problem. But when you can actually be mature enough to say, man, listen, go with your dad, let him buy what you buy, and then when you come back, you have it. A lot of people just ain't mature enough to co-parent. That's the biggest problem we have right here. I'm going to keep it real. Is motherfuckers can't co-parent. When you learn how to co-parent, a lot of these child support issues will be out the window. Because there's no reason why two people need to go to court to say, hey, can you pay me for these kids? Now, I get it. Some niggas is losers. Listen, I'm not sticking up for some of these loser niggas. I get it. Some niggas is losers. I get that 100%. I get that. But you're telling me, you know that nigga don't work. And some of these niggas is so sad they won't get a job because of that. Because they know they have to pay child support, which is sad. Like if you I don't respect no nigga who don't get a job because of child support. I don't respect you at all. At all. We don't fuck with you niggas like that. But I will say this. A lot of these ladies gonna make it happen whether they have it or not. But keeping your kids from someone because they don't financially fit what you want is crazy work. Keeping your kids from someone because they don't financially fit what you want is crazy work. Let them kids see their daddy. I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why. If you let the kids see their daddy, right, this is gonna happen. They're gonna spend time with their daddy, right? And they gonna ask him for stuff. And if he can't provide, he gonna feel some type of way and he gonna make a way to go get it. Hopefully legally. Hopefully legally. But he's gonna feel that sting like I can't provide as a man to my kids. He's gonna want to provide. Any decent man is gonna want to provide. Let me say that again. Any decent man is gonna want to provide. A loser is just gonna sit there and be like, whatever, right? He's not gonna care. A loser's not gonna care. Any decent man is gonna want to provide. And so what that means is this. Interaction with their father and seeing their mom and dad having a good co-parent relationship impacts kids in a way better manner they grow up to be better kids. They don't have this post-traumatic stress syndrome where they see, oh, my parents only were angry and combative, and they don't repeat the cycle. They don't repeat the cycle. They become more sociable. They become better people. They don't do what we did. That's why I've never argued in front of my kids. I've never been disrespectful to no one in front of my kids. I don't want them to think that yelling at someone and arguing with someone was a way of communication. I want them to understand that treating people with respect and talking softly can actually get the same results as yelling. Because a lot of y'all, I be seeing well, listen, the most feminine thing I ever seen was a man arguing with his woman inside like a mall or something. I forgot where I was at. This dude was just arguing with his. I'm like, bro, why are you arguing with your girl? Like a full-on argument, like damn near yelling. And I'm like, bro, she's a woman. Yes, she's upset. Yes, she's in her feelings. Bro, you're a man. Just let her talk. Let her vent. Hear what she's saying and move the fuck on. Bro, why are you sitting here arguing with this woman? When I see dudes arguing with women, bro, I look at the dude like, bro, you supposed to be her peace, bro. Just listen to what she's saying. Come up with a solution and move on. Like, I've never argued with a woman. I'm not going to go back and forth. I'm not going to yell. I'm going to listen, analyze. Okay, look, this is what we're doing. Okay, bam. If she want to keep arguing, she can argue. She'll be arguing to a brick wall. I'm just be like, okay. Now, if she want to talk, we can talk. But we're not going to keep arguing. Like that whole texting a whole paragraph, you get one paragraph out of me. After that, bro, that folk gonna be sitting there on D&D. Like, we're not gonna keep, it serves no point. An argument is two people trying to be right at the same time. That's all the argument is, two people trying to be right at the same time. And it's never beneficial for no one. Let me ask y'all a question. And just think about this. Everybody watching, I want y'all to think about this. Think about the last argument you had. Think about the last argument you had, right? And think about when you were arguing, right? Think about it in your mind when you were arguing. You were just, think about what you were thinking. This person just doesn't get what I'm trying to say. It's the only thing that was going through your mind. This person just doesn't get what I'm trying to say. Why don't they understand me? Why they don't get what I'm trying to say, right? And you want to know what the other person was thinking? The exact same thing was you saying. Exactly. You have to understand that when you're arguing, the same thing you're thinking is what the other person's thinking. Why they don't understand me? Why they don't get what I'm trying to say? They just don't understand me. When most people just take the time to fall back and say, hold up, am I understanding what this person's saying to me? Can I really be empathetic and say, hold up, I hear you. I validate your feelings. What can I do to make this a little bit better? Because a lot of times we have so much ego and pride to say, I have to be right. I hear what you're saying. I have to be right. No, I'm right. No, you always, bro, listen, and hear me clear. Sometimes you have to lose the argument to preserve the relationship, whether it be a friend, whether it be a lover, whether it be a mom, whether it be a child. Sometimes, bro, I will lose the argument just to preserve the relationship, even though I know I'm right. I'll be like, you know what? You right. My bad, bro. You right. And I'll sit back and be right, and I'll know that I'm right, and I'll go ask somebody else. I'm right, but I want to preserve the relationship because the relationship means more to me than being right. The relationship means more to me than being right because sometimes being right ain't always right. Because it's a time and place for everything. That's why a lot of relationships don't work. That's why a lot of relationships just don't work because people want to be right in that moment and you losing it in that moment. Man, and see, bro, you know how people didn't die because of that. They just couldn't be wrong in that moment. I tell people this all the time, bro. Walk away. I'm telling you, some of the most emotional people be grown men who can't walk away from words or comments. Just like, bro, I'm cool. It ain't that serious. Because they have to be right. They have to be a man in that moment. Being a man in that moment means nothing, bro, if you can't be a man in real life. Being a woman in that moment. Here's the thing is, here's what I don't get, right? When people say they love each other, right? And you can't lose an argument to someone you love. You ever been arguing with your girl and you arguing with your girl, you looking at her like, girl, I love this girl. She knows she dead wrong. Because sometimes women will be wrong, but they not going to let go because they're emotional. Sometimes fellas, you just got to be like, man, I love this girl. She wrong. You just give her a kiss. You right, baby. You right, babe. And you just have to let her win because in that moment, she knows she wrong, but she just wants you to let her win to show that you care about her. Babe, you know you're wrong. You right, babe. You right. Soon as you say that and she calmed down, I guarantee the next day she'll be like, you know what? Now I think about it, I was tripping. She just sees that you recognize her feelings, you validated her feelings and her emotions, and you was there for her, and you let her chill out, and now she cool. Because sometimes a lot of people just want to be right in the moment. It ain't that serious. Bro, listen, with me, I learned that being right ain't always right. Being right is sometimes wrong. Because when you always want to be right, sometimes you get the wrong results. Sometimes when you always want to be right, you're going to get the wrong results from being right. And what happens, you will lose some very good people in your life from being right. Because why? You're going to be like, I knew I was right, and you're going to push them away. You're going to push everyone away. Why? Because you're always right about them. Sometimes you got to be wrong and be like, you know what? Let me fall back. It ain't that serious. It ain't that serious because you know what? Even though I'm right, I'm going to save this relationship by being wrong this one time. As long as it ain't detrimental to your life, to what you believe in, to your morals, your ethics, and your principles, you good. It don't really hurt you. No, Melissa, you're not. See, Melissa thinks she right every time. See, females think they right every time, and it's okay. Let them be right every time. You right. Watch. You right. You right. You good. You right. See, it ain't that. It ain't that hard. I mastered this, bro. Because it's like this, bro. We act like being right or being wrong, it hurts us. It's like detrimental to our life when it really ain't. For some people, being right is a coping mechanism. It's like a defense shift. Like, I'm right. See, I told you I'm right. See, I told you I'm right. See, I told you. It's certain keywords that trigger people. See, I told you I'm right. Don't tell me to calm down. Don't tell me, because some people have this defense mechanism that their whole life they've been told what to do or they've been told something. And see, you have to understand people have past trauma from either abusive relationships, verbal or physical, or hurt. So they only see that hurt, that pain. They don't see what you're trying to do. So they don't really see you. They see the trauma, the past hurt. So a lot of times you can't be mad at them. You have to really be like, damn, it ain't them. It's that past trauma, that past hurt. So that's why I tell people all the time, bro, I don't get caught up on the semantics. I say, hold up. When someone's arguing with me, like even at work, or if I'm in life, my family, my sister, my mom, whoever, my brother, or my kids, I'm like, who are you really mad at? Like, what are we really arguing about? It ain't this moment right here. Because this moment ain't that serious. You're mad about something else, and you're using me to vent that out because you know that I'm emotionally strong enough to take this, and you want me to be there to comfort you in this moment and say, you know what, you're right. I know you're joking. But see, a lot of people are going to want to say, well, you don't see me, you don't validate this. Okay, I get it. I understand. But see, people want you to be their best friend, their therapist, their priest, their nutritionist. They want you to be everything in one. I can't be that. I'm not that talented. I be telling people, I'm just a podcast host. I don't know everything. I know a little bit something, but I can't be everything. But it takes that to do a lot of things. Like, you got to understand, a lot of people are emotionally damaged. A lot of people. But they're scared to admit it because people are scared to be judged. We live in a time where people are just scared to be judged off top. Like, they're just terrified that you're going to judge them the wrong way. So many people think they're going to be judged the moment they talk to you, the moment they just get around you. You ever notice someone get around you, they just start talking like just super like a lot, and they stumble, they stutter, they just say the weirdest thing. You're like, bro, what are you talking about? So many people are scared of being judged that they don't know what to say around you because they feel like they might admire you, they might look at you a certain way, so they just start saying weird stuff. So sometimes you just gotta be like, hold up, relax, chill out, relax. It's gonna be all right. Because the hardest thing to do for some people is to have discipline and structure. And so when you have discipline and structure, you're able to say, you know what, you're right. You got this. Like, it's like at work. I'm pretty sure most of us got jobs on here, right? You ever know that your supervisor, your boss is wrong? Like, you have the dead wrong proof, but they so caught up in their position, they can't even admit they wrong. You just looking like, bro, you super wrong, bro. Like, you dead wrong, bro. And they just going on like, no, I did. Okay. You can't win that battle because they're in a position of power already to fuck you over. They want to fuck you over. They don't like you because you're actually right. They know you're right, but around everybody else, they have to make it look like you're wrong. So what do? They're stuck in their pride. You in your pride because you know you're right. But in this moment, it'll be better for you to be wrong and just say, you know what, you're right, go ahead. But a lot of us, majority of us, have this big chest, this bravado of, no, see, I'm right. I know more than the supervisor. I know more than this and that. When you can just be like, no, you're right, you got it. Because silence is golden. Bro, have you ever just been quiet? You ever just been quiet and be like, man, look, it makes people nervous. When you get quiet, it makes people nervous. If you can master being quiet, it will make people nervous so much. Like, bro, just walk in a room. I want everybody to try this. If you watch right now, I want you to try this. Go to a lit party, go to a business function, go to where there's some like big wigs, like intelligent, smart people. Just try this. I want everybody to try this. Go to where it's a bunch of rich people, like some like really, really like big people. Go in there, just be quiet, be you. Watch how many people will come up and talk to you, want to associate with you because you're not being like everybody else. You're just being quiet. You're just being you. Watch how much that works. When you just be quiet and be you, watch how that works. A lot of people can't do that. Once people get in a certain type of room and they see certain type of people that got money or they got a certain look, they want to network. I got to network because I got to come up. Nah, fall back. Bro, I'm a people person by natural. I'm naturally a people person. Naturally got charisma. But when I go in a room and I see certain things, bro, I fall all the way back. I turn introvert. I just go introvert. Not on purpose. That's just how I am. Because I'm not like starstruck. But I notice when I just fall back, they're like, who's that? Who's that? How do you know? And then they come talk to me like, hey, who do you know here? So and so. I do opening comments, very vague. I don't say nothing. What do you do? I do a podcast. I don't even tell them I have a job. I just say I do a podcast. What's it about? Oh, Red Pill Manosphere. Oh, really? And that's it. Don't give up too much of yourself to these people. You don't know these people from a can of paint. It's so important to people. I tell people all the time. Be yourself as much as possible. Even if you, bro, I get it, bro. A lot of these people see TV. Like, I ain't gonna lie, bro. Sometimes I want to be John Wick. I wish I could walk in here like John Wick and kick everybody's ass. Shit. I can't be John Wick, though. This is not gonna happen. I don't know how to shoot 1,000 guns. I can't kill 1,000 people with one gun. I can't be John Wick. It would be nice. Like, that would be the goal in life. I think everybody want to be John Wick. It's just not going to happen. Not today, right? But I can always be me. But before we close out the show, which is, we always have a great show. Shout out to TikTok. All the people that come through TikTok. All the people that asked to join the live. I don't know you guys, so I feel it kind of weird if I add you to my live on TikTok. It's just kind of weird. Shout out to my boy Drastic. Shout out to Melissa, right? But I do want to say this, right? It's very important. I have to say this a lot of times. Understanding where you're at in life and where you want to go. A lot of people just wake up and do the same thing over and over and over. My best advice, and I'm kind of slacking on this as well. Waking up in the morning, journaling what you want to do, and write your goals down. 5-year goals, 10-year goals, even 3-month, 6-month goals, but definitely 5 and 10-year goals. Because who remembers? I want to pick a special date. 2010. Who remembers 2015? Who remembers 2020? Who remembers 2025? We're here. So if you look at it like that, right? Look at that. 2005, 2010, 2015, 2020. That's how fast 5 years go. And if you go back to 2005, ask yourself, at 2005, what was I doing? How was I living? Then jump to 2010. What was I doing? How was I living? Then go to 2015. How was I doing? How was I living? Then go to 2020. How was I doing? How was I living? If you don't see no progression, there's something wrong. If you don't see no progression, there's something wrong. Now, you could fix that, but you have to want to fix that. You can't just be, oh, well, you know, man, shit, it's the white man's fault and I ain't got this and, man, you know, shit hard for a nigga. No, it's not. No, it's not. Literally, you could do anything. Literally, that part. You could do anything, bro. You can really just literally wake up and turn your phone and do anything. Because anybody can do anything. Like you don't have to be stuck in. I tell people, don't put periods behind your name, put commas. You don't have to do one thing. So like I said, if you go look at your past, and this is what kills me, right? I'm gonna talk about this real brief. I'm not gonna stick on this too long because I have another podcast about this. Like the young thug situation, right? I find funny. Only reason I find the young thug situation funny is because so many dudes are caught up. Oh, he telling a real nigga wouldn't tell. Half you niggas ain't real niggas anyway. Let me bring this up because niggas got me fucked up. Half you niggas ain't real niggas anyway. Half you niggas would tell tomorrow. If you niggas really got caught in a situation, half you niggas would tell tomorrow. I know it, bro. Half you niggas ain't real niggas anyway. Most of you niggas ain't never did no crimes. You never been in a situation where you had to not tell. So you wouldn't know what you would do. And you're glorifying the life that you've never lived. So why would you even care what he did or didn't do? It shouldn't even matter to you. If you were about your family, your money, and staying out of trouble, that shit shouldn't even concern you. You should be like, look, you know what, bro? Whatever he did, that's his business. I ain't in it. But you know what? A lot of y'all are mesmerized by this street shit because you don't want to live it. A lot of y'all are mesmerized by this street shit because you too scared to go live it. If you really want to do some street shit, my nigga, it's a bunch of shit you can go do. Go join a gang, go pimp, go rob, go do whatever the fuck you want. It's out there if you want to go do it, but stop faking the funk. When I was young, right, a homie told me, I was real young. He said, Shells, you can't be 50-50. You can't be going to work, playing that role, and coming here playing this role. You're going to be all the way in or all the way out. You either is or you either ain't. Which one you want to do? Which one do you want to do? Because, see, ain't no part-time in this. It's full of nothing. Anything you do in life, you have to do it 100%. You can't do it part-time with this because part-time ain't going to get the job done. Part-time ain't what we do. We do full-time at all. So dudes who are talking about this, young thug, all this young thug, okay, I get it. But I do have a few questions about this young thug situation while we're talking about it. You know, just because I have some questions. I do have a few questions. I'm going to address it here, and then we'll go to the next podcast, right? We will. Because I only got 5 minutes left. Hold on. I got to do this little thing. This thing tripped. So, before we get off of TikTok, we only got like 5 minutes left on TikTok. But I do got one question. If everyone, okay, so no, two things before we get off of TikTok. They say that Kendrick Lamar, denied a verse request for a Business is Business mixtape by Young Thug when he was locked up. They said Kendrick Lamar, he denied it, right? He denied the verse, right? And it's a bar in Squabble Up. Hold on, I gotta get the lyrics, right? It's a bar in Squabble Up. Let's go to Squabble Up lyrics, guys, right? Let's go to the Squabble Up lyrics, right? I love the Google. Okay, where's it at? Here it is, right here. Where's it at? It's a bar. It says right here. Tell me why the fuck you niggas rap if it's fictional. Tell me why the fuck you niggas fed if you criminal. Hey, Doc, can I get a drop? I'm like, nigga, nah. Was he telling us something that we didn't hear? Was he telling us something we wasn't hearing? I'm going to actually say it, not rap it. Tell me why the fuck you niggas rap if it's fictional. Tell me why the fuck you niggas fed if you criminal. Hey, Doc, can I get a drop? I'm like, nigga, nah. Did K-Dot already know that Thug was a snitch? I don't care. Like, if you told, I don't care. Go home to your family. But did K-Dot know that Young Thug was a snitch? That's why he didn't do the song? Because it's not that he didn't fuck with niggas from Atlanta. He got songs with Playboy Cardi. In 2017, he did a song with Future. You don't think so drastic? He did a song with Future, so he already was tapped in with Atlanta, and he does have an old picture with Young Thug. So you don't think he knew? Because he turned down the feature. He said, "No, I'm cool." Or did he turn down the feature because Young Thug is real close with Drake? Because I had two takes on it. Did he turn down the feature because Young Thug is really cool with Drake? So that's why I was like, I'm not too sure which one it was. But I know it was a reason behind this. So on my next other podcast, we will dive deeper into this. I do want to say one more thing before I go. Tomorrow's the big day, guys. Dallas versus the Eagles. Go Dallas. I do want to say, ha ha ha. Micah Parsons' back is hurt. That's what you niggas get. Buster ass nigga. That's so unprofessional. Sorry about that. But I do want to say a couple more things, right? And I'm just gonna leave this on the air. Enjoy the week. Have a blessed week. This Friday, which is 2 days away, we're gonna do something different with the top 10 songs of the week. The whole show is gonna be about music. And I think we're gonna do top 10 R&B songs of the week. I'm gonna change it up. I think it's gonna be top 10 R&B songs of the week. I think that's what's gonna be so dope about the show. Yeah. And I have another question. Do y'all think Nip knew that Thug was a snitch? I don't care. Like I wonder if y'all think Nip knew because him and Nip was like this. You think Meek knew because him and Meek was like this. You think Future knew because him and Future was like this. Because Future's been real quiet. Future's been real quiet. Very interesting. There's a lot of topics to talk about, but we'll talk about that on other podcasts. I love that you guys come and hang out with me, man. I appreciate all you guys who view and watch. If you're on Twitch, hey, bless me with a sub. If you're on TikTok, bless me with a diamond. If you're on Instagram, you might want to get TikTok or Twitch because we might be just going over there. Hey, guys, it's Wednesday. This is Wednesday's show. What did I call this show? I think I did current news or something like that, but TikTok, we are off. You guys have a blessed day. Wow. Ooh-wee. Hey, we got some new follows, man. Hey, shout out to y'all, man. Hey, man. Hey, shout out to the follows, man. Bro, that's crazy. Look, so that's why I want to leave. That's why I'm gonna leave. This is crazy, bro. So when I'm on TikTok, I get like hundreds of people who watch this, who come on the viewers for the stream. It's crazy. So okay, so we'll stay on live a little more and talk about this because you have to get off there. We are leveling up on TikTok. Got to keep going. We got to load some more clips up while we're done. Okay. Anyway, guys, but as we stay on top of the story, thank you guys all for tuning in, and we're gonna end Instagram too as well. I think we're gonna stop doing Instagram because really, I'm just trying to funnel people to the Twitch. What do y'all think, Twitch? What we got going on? Hey, that was crazy though. The numbers about college for ladies was crazy. Yeah, that was a little wild. I forgot. What do we call this one? We're gonna hop off. But hey, y'all, thank y'all for tuning in. Another night. Great. I appreciate you guys.